again, welcome family. I realize I didn't introduce myself. My name is Teacher Palesa. Amen. Melan. Goeiemorgen. Sanibonani. Okay. I don't know what to say. My name is Teacher Palesa. I am the teacher in this house. You know, even Jesus said God is good. When his disciples were like, oh, Jesus, you're so good. And he's like, I'm not the good one here. God is good. God is the good one here. So let your worship and your praises go to the one that is deserving. Amen. Amen. So the Lord wants us to talk about Joshua. You guys know who Joshua is. Yes? The Lord wants us to talk about him on this very day. So it was quite interesting when I started praying about this. I didn't know what this had to do with what is going on, with the words that we've been receiving specifically from Sozo, and for the past couple of weeks, what Apostle has been teaching us about. So I wasn't sure in the beginning, but yours is not to question the Lord. Yours is just to obey. Amen. So I did some research from the Bible, really, just nowhere else. I read about Joshua. And I just want to give you a bit of a background about him. Joshua, we know him as the son of Nun, or Nun, and we know him as the servant of Moses. He was the guy when Moses went up onto the mountain to receive the laws from God, the one that was lying, who went up with Moses, although he didn't go in, but he was there by the mountainside waiting for Moses. He didn't participate with the foolishness that was happening down with the children of Israel when they did all those, when they made those golden calves and they started to panic when they didn't see Moses. He was not part of that. He was the one that stayed very close with Moses. Even when the tent of meeting was erected and put up, and Moses was the only one that could go inside and meet with the Lord, we know that Joshua was the one that was standing outside, always being very close to serve Moses and serve the Lord. So he was in that capacity. And he was also the leader of Moses' army when they went out. Remember that battle when Moses, his hands had to be lifted up so that the sun wouldn't come down. Joshua was the one that was in battle, leading troops and fighting against the enemies of Israel at the time. And it all seemed, if you look at his character, like he was kind of like a straight-up guy, very courageous in what he did. He was fully convicted in his ways of thinking. He knew what he wanted, and that's what he did the whole time. He didn't swerve from left to right. He was also one of the 12 spies that Moses sent out. He was one of the 12, and he came back, himself and Caleb, the only two that came back with a positive report when they had been sent out to spy on the land. So from that we can deduct his faith was very strong in the Lord. Amen. But if you read on about his character from the book of Joshua, actually towards the end of the book of Deuteronomy, we can kind of see something different about him. This whole time in the book of Exodus, you see him as a strong a strong guy, and he doesn't take nonsense. He knows who his God is. He knows why he's alive. But at the beginning of the book of Joshua, even towards the end of Deuteronomy, we see him constantly the Lord constantly telling him to be courageous and to be strong. Even when Moses was announcing to the people that the Lord is taking him away, and Joshua is going to, when there was a transition of leadership, that Joshua was going to be the new leader, he also says that the Lord is taking me away, and the Lord has told Joshua to be strong. And even Joshua's followers also encouraged them to be strong. So this would, kind of make you wonder, okay, what was going on this whole time? We know him as a upstanding guy, he's a strong guy, he's a leader of armies, he's a fighter, he's a warrior. And then all of a sudden, he needs to be encouraged to be strong, constantly being told to be courageous and be strong. So, and this happens when Moses is taken away, right? Now, isn't it like that for us when our leaders are, have been pushed, let me say, for lack of a better word, pushed to the side, and you now have to take the front. You are the one that has been seen. It's okay if in the background, urging people on, then you kind of yourself. But as soon as the light or the Lord shines the light upon you, and you are really truly exposed, then we start to crumble a little bit. Then we start want to doubt a little bit. God, are you sure that it is me that you want to lead your people? Lord, are you sure that you want me to do this? So that's what I saw in regards to always, with him always being able to be encouraged. Okay, that's a little bit of a background on Joshua. So we're going to pick up the story from Joshua 5. If you can open your Bibles for me, please. It's in the Old Testament, the book of Joshua, chapter 5. So at this point where they are, from verse, what did I say, from verse 10. Okay, let me give you a bit of a background of where we are in the story. So Moses had just died, and God had just buried Moses. Okay. And after the people had mourned for Moses, and Joshua now has to take up the mantle. Joshua has to take up the leadership role. And they cross the Jordan River. So you will see a lot of parallels between Moses and Joshua. A lot of the things that happened with Moses also happened with Joshua. See, remember with Moses, the people had to cross the sea. What sea now? The Dead Sea. Thank you. They crossed the Dead Sea, and God parted the waters for them to cross. Same thing happened with Joshua when they had to cross into the Promised Land. God opened the Jordan River, and at that time it was harvest time. It was harvest season. So in harvest season, the Jordan River floods. Right, and the Bible says that God had opened the river to a distance. It was between the town. There was a town called Adam in that region, or Adam, up to the Dead Sea, or the Salt Sea. So when I looked up on the map, on Google Map, that distance is about 40 kilometers. 40 kilometers. I think in the past when I'd heard the story, I always figured that, when the priests stepped into the water, it would just open maybe a distance from here to that wall and people crossed over. That's what I always imagined. But if you read the Bible, it says from the town of Adam to the Salt River or the Dead Sea. That is a distance of 40 kilometers. That is large. That's big. That is big. So anyway, they had just crossed. They are now in the promised land, right? And after having crossed over, the Lord instructed Joshua to circumcise the Israelites that have not been circumcised, right? So the circumcision took place, and after that, they celebrated the very first Passover in the promised land, in the new land that the Lord had given to them. So as soon as they celebrated Passover, God stopped sending them manna from heaven. So the Lord had provided the produce of the land. They started eating from the land. Remember, in the desert for a very long years, over 40 years, God was providing or raining down manna from heaven for them to eat. But now they are in the promised land. 2 days after they had celebrated Passover, and they started eating of the produce of the land. Then the manna stopped completely. So this is now where we are in the book. And we know, I think one of the biggest accomplishments, or the major one, of Joshua was Jericho, right? We all know the story. And did you know that this was his very first battle as a leader? He had other battles that he fought under Moses, even when he was leader. But his very first assignment, or his very first task, imagine that, as a new leader, is to go and to take down Jericho. Jericho was not their target, but Jericho was in the way of where they were going. Because Jericho had these walls. And so in order for them to pass through, to occupy the entire region, they had to take out Jericho, although it was not their target, but it became part of the land that they inherited. Amen. Okay, so that's the background. So this is where we are now. Just celebrated Passover, people circumcised, they are healing nicely, everything is going good, and now there's an obstacle in the way, which is we are in the kind of a season of exhaling. Apostle and Pastor have been talking to us about, a season of exhaling. And you feel that, we've been through the desert, we've been through hard times. And you kind of feel like, okay, now I'm kind of in my promised land, right? But promised land, you look at it, it's not always what you thought it would be. You're like, oh, I expected this and that and I still have more work to do. God has brought me into this land, into the promised land, but now I still have to fight. There's still obstacles, there's still this wall now that must still come down. I must still, to get further into my promised land, I still need to fight. I still need to do, there's certain things that I still need to do, and God has stopped the man, and now I have to, on my own, pick, or, from the produce and do things. I must harvest, I must do certain things in this promised land. So, if your mind about your promised land is a little bit warped and you think there is no work for you, then I think it's time you started to change your mind about things. Amen. There is work to be done in your promised land. You got to work. Amen. But we thank God that He goes before us. Okay, so where am I? Joshua 5, verse 10. Eh? On the evening of the 14th day of the month, while camped at Gilgal, on the plains of Jericho, the Israelites celebrated the Passover. The day after the Passover, that very day, they ate some of the produce of the land, unleavened bread and roasted grain. The manna stopped the day after. They ate this food from the land. There was no longer any manna for the Israelites, but that year they ate the produce of Canaan. Amen. How many of you know that in the promised land your diet must change? New food. New food. No longer just manna, but now we're eating grains, different variety of things that the Lord is providing for you in this land. Amen. Verse 13. Now when Joshua was near Jericho, he looked up and saw a man standing in front of him with a drawn sword in his hand. Joshua went up to him and asked, "Are you for us or for our enemies?" "Neither," he replied, "but as commander of the army of the Lord, I have now come." Then Joshua fell face down to the ground in reverence and asked him, "What message does my Lord have for his servant?" The commander of the Lord's army replied, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy." And Joshua did so. Like I said, there are a lot of parallels between Moses and Joshua. And this very, very strange scene is one of them. Because first of all, who is this strange man? Who is this man that is standing there with a drawn sword? We know that from the book of Revelations. Can you just open Revelations 22, verse 8 for me, please? Because at first you can assume, okay, this guy, maybe he's an angel, right? Because that's the first assumption we can take, that maybe he's an angel. But we know that angels from God will never allow you to worship them, right? Okay, I, John, am the one. This is now John after being revealed all of those, the revelations that he got and writing them down. This is towards the end of the Revelation. I, John, am the one who heard and saw these things. And when I had heard and seen them, I fell down to worship at the feet of the angel who had been showing them to me. But he said to me, "Do not do it. I am a fellow servant with you and with your brothers, the prophets, and all who keep the words of this book. Worship God." Amen. So there's no way that this is an angel. And this now only leaves us with the conclusion, because Joshua worshipped at the feet of the man, and he was not corrected in doing this. He was allowed to continue worshipping. So that can only mean that this was the Lord standing before him. Right? Do you see that, guys? Yes. And again, just like with Joshua, there was an instruction for him to take off his sandals, for the place where he was standing was holy. Just like with the burning bush. The bush itself was not holy, but because of the presence of the Lord there, that place became holy. And because of the presence of the Lord in this scene, where between God and Joshua, this place or this ground became holy. And Joshua was instructed to take off his sandals. So, do you get the picture now? Joshua is in the promised land. Before this, he had been promised that as you enter, God had told Moses and God had told Joshua to be strong. I'm going to be with you. I'm going to take out all your enemies, all of them, so don't worry. But now, he comes, there's this a town, or let's say obstacle in front of him, and God is there with a drawn sword. And now you would assume that God is on your side, right? I mean, he's already promised you that he's going to be there. You assume it. And Joshua asked this question, are you for us or for our enemies? And the answer is very, very interesting. The Lord answered, neither. When I was playing, when I was still younger, and I was still playing football at my school there in Durban, I used to pray. I like praying a lot, and I would pray for our team to win. And it almost always did. We lost 1 or 2 matches in a season. I was actually in a very good team. In the club that I was in, provincial side, because it was Durban, so I played for KZN. And even in the national team, I always prayed. We always prayed as a team together. And we would pray for victory, you know. And obviously our opponents during the game, that will be our enemies, right? You don't want them to win. You know, pray, God, please help us win, help us, you know, to be victorious. And yeah, almost all of the time. Except in those moments when we didn't win, then you start being confused. God, I asked you to win. You know, are you not for me? You know, what's happening here? It was very confusing. And then it got even more confusing when I started to pray for Bafana. I mean, and Orlando Pirates. I love Pirates, that's my team. And they would lose, and you know, Bafana, you know how it is with them. So it got extremely confusing for me. Until the Lord showed me, okay, does this mean that if you pray to me to be on your side, are those my enemies as well that you're praying against? So yeah, then I stopped praying for Bafana. That was a bit of a relief. Bafana too. Hey. But think about this. You are facing an enemy in the moment. I mean, anyone can become your opposition in any moment. Your parent, maybe you have a disagreement with them. Your spouse, your co-workers, there's a disagreement, and maybe things get heated up a little bit in the moment. And you go to God and you pray. What do you pray about? What are you asking God to do for you in that moment? Are you asking God, oh God, are you for me or are you for them? Are you the one that's drawing lines, making God choose sides between you and whoever you feel in that moment is your enemy? God is saying to us, neither. Let's stop praying, I would say, stupid prayers, dumb prayers. Neither. You are the one that must choose, as Joshua chose, as Joshua made his decision. You are the one that must choose. God is the one that is controlling the army of the Lord. God has his own righteous war that he's fighting. You are the one that must choose. Am I going to follow God in his righteous war, or am I going to stay, be on the other side? And so that we learned, Apostle Deb said it so nicely, that the line has been drawn in the sand. There's a line in the sand. And you have a decision to make. Because God is not fighting what we think or what we see to be the war. Because we are so distracted with everything else that is going on. Our minds are distracted. The enemy doesn't really have to do much work with us anymore. We are fighting each other. In this country, it's always, what is it? Men are trash. That's what is going around. You know, we're fighting things like that. So now it's male against females. Isn't that a distraction? Isn't that those dumb wars or dumb enemies that we create for ourselves? And then we ask God, oh God, on which side are you on? Are you for us or are you for our enemies? Are you for women or are you for men? You know, are you for the South African nationals or are you for the foreigners? Those are the things that we are asking God, and we're pushing God to give us an answer. Amen. But God is saying this, no, I am not for men, I am not for women. I am for the army of the Lord. I am for the righteousness of God. Be on that side. Be on that side of the argument. Be on the side of God's argument. Not our own agendas that we're trying to push and put forward to God to make a decision about. Amen. And I love Joshua's response to this. Even though he knew that God had given victory, he still had to make a decision. Even though things were going, he was doing the right thing. Remember, it said that he had just circumcised, he had just done the circumcision of the guys. Well, the guy, yeah, I can't do it, the woman. The circumcision had been done there, they had just celebrated Passover. He was doing everything right. He had led the people through, across into the promised land. But he still had to make a decision. And he responded appropriately, which is in contradiction to how Moses, his mentor, had responded when he was in front of the burning bush, when he found himself standing on holy ground. Because remember, Moses tried to argue, tried to get himself out of it, and try to, wiggle his way out of it. Like, if I get there, they're gonna ask me who you are. Who are you? What must I say? And Moses came up with all sorts of excuses. I can't talk, my tongue is what, I know, I'm public speaking is not my thing. And I was like, no, I'll sort you out, So Moses was kind of reluctant. He wanted to bargain, he wanted to get out of it. Whereas Joshua, on the other hand, he just fell down to his knees and he worshipped. And he chose the correct side. Well, eventually we know Moses did choose the correct side after much convincing from the Lord. But Joshua just immediately, he was on the right side. Amen. And so, after he surrendered to the way of the Lord, he asked God, what message does my Lord have for his servant? Again, humbled himself, and he saw himself as a servant. He chose the Lord, and he chose to be a servant of the Lord. Not just be in God's army, but to be a servant in God's army. And then from chapter 6, God gives Joshua the command, or the strategy to take on Jericho, how to destroy Jericho, how to take on that enemy. And it was very interesting when I read that, we all know it was, they had to go around the walled city once a day for 6 days. And on the 7th day, they were to go around there 7 times with 7 priests and seven trumpets or shofars. And in the book of Revelation, we also, when we learn about the trumpets, there's actually 7 angels that blow the trumpets. So I thought that was very interesting. Around 7 trumpets around, and those walls came down. Book of Revelation, again, we have trumpets or angels blowing trumpets, and we have 7 of them. And they're all, each one of them means something different, according to the instructions of the Lord. So after this, then they took over the inheritance, and they won. So, and towards the end of Joshua's life, because of the decision, I believe, because of the decision that he made here, can you just open Joshua 24? Because of the decision that he made, and he had seen the victory that the Lord had given him, because he surrendered himself. What was the answer? He says, now fear the Lord. This isn't him now addressing the nation of Israel towards the end of his life. The Lord was about to just take him away from earth. He was about to die. Now fear the Lord and serve him with all faithfulness. Throw away the gods your ancestors worshipped beyond the Euphrates River and in Egypt, and serve the Lord. So now Egypt can be anything to us or to you. Egypt represents a place of slavery, a place where you didn't do, or you couldn't serve the Lord, you couldn't worship God, but worshiping, idols or whatever. Verse 15, but in serving the Lord, but if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Amen. Again, people, they are in the promised land, they've got the land. At this stage, they've got the inheritance. But again, God still gives us a choice. There's still a question. What are you going to choose? Who are you going to choose? In this season of pay, the season of the open mouth, Joshua here declared, he opened his mouth and he declared on whose side he was going to serve, on whose side he was on. And yet again, once again, in the history of the world, we have been presented with a choice. Even if you are in the promised land, even if you've got everything, or you feel you have everything is going right for you, you still have to choose. And who are you going to serve? Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So I would encourage you, family, to always, in whatever situation or whatever kind of conflict that you find, we have a lot of that, a lot of things that are happening in this country now that are pushing either to one side or another side. You know, make a decision about this. How do you feel about this that is happening? I mean, our country is quite a volatile place. It's a beautiful country. It's a great country. Yesterday we were in Zastron Street. We went to a Chinese shop, a Chinese supermarket. And I was just looking around. I looked at the Chinese people in there, and I saw some Pakistani people coming in. And obviously we were the only people in there, which was funny. And I became so proud, you know, what a country that we have, you know, such a variety of people, so diverse. I really became very happy and became very proud of what I saw. And at the same time, quite saddened by the past couple of the events that have happened in the past month. But as I said earlier, we are, with everything that is happening, all the violence that is taking place, we've always been kind of pushed to pick a side. Are you for this or are you for that?
Yeah.
But ask God, what are you for? What is the agenda of heaven in this situation? What is heaven calling me to do? How can I serve you, Lord? How do you want me to serve you as we face this? As I face this in my personal capacity, in my personal life, or as a country, how should I pray in a situation that we're finding ourselves in your own life, or as a family, or with your colleagues, whatever it is that you face? Because there's decisions that we make on a daily basis, but we don't always consult God. So the line is drawn, you can say, pretty much in everything that we face: social, the economy, the politics, you know, there's a line. But God has his side. God has an agenda. Ask and find out from the Lord what the agenda is. And ask and find out from God how you must serve in his army. Amen. Amen. Let's just close our eyes. Just take a moment. Take a moment and ask the Lord to give you instructions, to give you strategy of whatever it is that you're facing. Ask the Lord what it is that you need to do. How should you respond in the Lord's army, as a servant in the Lord's army? How does the Lord want you to respond? Take off your shoes, the Lord says, for this is holy ground. The Lord is mighty in this place. And the Lord says, choose me. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Choose me. Choose me. Choose me. We as a society, as people, we've built walls, and not just in this country, but everywhere we've built walls, and we call them systems. There's many systems that as a child of God, although you are in the promised land, there's certain things that are hindering you, that are in your way. There are walls that are in your way. There are systems, man-made, man-created walls around us that we cannot get past, we cannot get through. And the Lord says He is on neither side. He has an agenda. Choose God's agenda. And the walls will come crumbling down. Those hindrances, those systems, whatever it is that is in your way, they will come crumbling down. Because your praise will do that. Your obedience is what is going to bring those walls down. Be on God's side, because He is going to destroy everything that stands in your way. Everything that does not glorify God will be destroyed. So be on the right side. Be on the right side of the line. Search your heart. Search your heart and be true. Be honest with yourself. Be honest. Not your own agenda, not your own will, but your will, God. Your will.